Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
The tundra may not quite be frozen, but it's getting there as we work our way through December. The radar today, however, is clear at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Packer team as we interplay here. They come in off a loss last time out, but overall they've been playing well. 6 wins and 8 prior to that defeat. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
Tucker McCann set to kick off.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15.
Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And he's got to be feeling pretty good about his individual performance from last week's game. I mean, he did throw 4 touchdown passes, so he's in sync with his receivers, and they're very confident. Did have 1 interception.
Yeah, 1 pick.
And
they lost.
Yeah, so no matter how many touchdowns he threw, if it comes in a loss, he's not going to be satisfied.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. That'll be caught. It's Steven Sims. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
7-yard line.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 101 yards, and a score.
And he now has 8 touchdowns on the season, and I just know this. He's going to be so eager to run routes in this one and try and get to the end zone at least 2 more times.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
The quarterback set.
Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And, look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the number 1 spot.
Brings up 3rd and 11.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Open man here, Sims complete. And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the first down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
I'm absolutely eager to watch him play in this game because here we are, week 15. Not a lot of games left down the stretch. But will he get outside of himself trying to make huge plays in order to try and win an MVP? Because he's not in the #1 spot right now.
No, he's not. I think everyone consensus thinks that way. You hope he doesn't get outside of himself right now, though, because that could really get their offense out of sync. And it's been in sync most of this year. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he fired. One that's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. Refusing to go down. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. First carry for the Boise State Bronco, Alexander Madison. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. In their mind, certainly a field goal try would be a letdown. They have the great starting field position, now facing 3rd down. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
It's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know, he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down.
Score Packers 3, Vikings nothing.
So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away. But they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
Williams. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score. You give yourself the best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. The 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 81 yards, and the Vikings have taken the lead. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
Tucker McCann set to kick off.
McCann's got it teed up. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's out.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The quarterback taken down. And
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. His throw incomplete.
Out of the backfield, he was trying to get that to Alexander Madison.
And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
An 8-yard loss.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. 39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC.
And right now they're in that number 2 spot. They would love to hold on to that, but obviously first things first. They want to clinch the division.
And that's what everyone plays for. Win your division first, guarantees you a spot in the playoffs, but still a nice spot to be in. Not as good as it was when the number 2 seed meant a first-round bye. That's all changed with the new playoff system, but still a nice spot to be in.
That catch good for only a couple. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now a pass hauled in downfield and down to the 11. A big play there for Minnesota. 47 yards. But one thing's for sure, they're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him?
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Alexander Madison.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
2 yards.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Sanders' kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points in 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
At their own 22-yard line.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Vikings.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It's caught left side by Cooks. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. There again is Cooks, complete. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
7 yards, the pickup there.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the 3rd down stop. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a potential turning point as they get the football in very good field position late in this first half.
Intercepted.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this won't get there, won't be on line either. It's no good, off to the right. Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here, let me spit this out. And we can get to the 3rd quarter now.
Taken in at the 3. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week on our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And the pressure gets to him again.
Taken down and sacked.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And here's Hoffrichter now, the punter, as he sends this one away.
A 40-yard punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Minnesota now ready for their next possession.
We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys are tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
On 3rd down, here's Williams. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And even 30 yards on a play that began back at the 30. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And he's got this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 29. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
First down, Vikings.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. And
he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Great call to hand that one off, and his running back did the rest.
Someone read their keys correctly, and on the defensive side of the ball, they certainly did not, because they really essentially were just going to swarm the quarterback. They kind of guessed themselves out of the play, and guess who benefited? The guy with the football.
Point after, right down the middle, and the lead is up to 8. McCann's got it teed up. That'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And again this time to the tailback. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
The line of scrimmage.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
10 at the 35-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
At the 49-yard line.
Back to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. In trouble, and he's taken down.
A 6-yard loss.
And sure, you hate the end result being a sack, but my question is, why are you going play action on 3rd and long anyway? No defense is going to respect the run in that situation. They're headed straight for the quarterback.
Pulled in at the 24. We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there.
And it's right about this time of the year that you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
It certainly is, because we all know everyone is aiming for that #1 seed. But failing that, because only 2 teams in the NFL get a bye, 1 from each conference, that question becomes who's hot? Who's peaking at the right time as you start the playoffs?
Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down.
First down.
They stick to the ground game on 1st down. It's Williams. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
The 38-yard line. It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
A gain of 12.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he's got this pretty close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 38. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
It's a gain of 6. First down.
On 1st down, it's Williams. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They run it again with Williams. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Williams. Eventually wrangled down before reaching the 20, but a strong run. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. Powerful running. And he gets the 1st down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
11-yard line.
Give him the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
3-yard line.
A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable but do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense, but that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. So the Packers down on the scoreboard, 57 seconds to go. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The pass.
I'll tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Space to maneuver at the 40. Wide open receiver complete. A gain there of 21 yards. They'll look to throw here on first down. The throw taken in by Sims. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. It's a big play that time for the Packers. 41 yards. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for one here and save the possible two-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for two here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah.
Now you wonder why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for one here. And it's good, so that will get them back within one score. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And the result, a Green Bay score. So now with little time remaining, they'll have this and maybe one more play. And the Vikings hands team able to recover, and that should just about do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. So the final seconds have ticked away in this.
You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Vikings, they remain in the hunt for a first-round bye as they move to 11-3 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for Green Bay.